All right, you guys, the time is now here. We have in hand the WinWing PFP or the 737 PFP. This is my first ever product I bought with WinWing. So before we get into the unboxing and my first impressions of it, because obviously I haven't opened it yet, so I have no idea what this is going to look like. I want to go ahead and kind of give you guys a rundown of what the experience was like for me shopping on WinWing, especially when such an anticipated product first got released. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys and tell you guys how that went, because I know for me, being a first-time buyer of WinWing, it was kind of confusing, and I know on a couple Discord servers, people were helping me out to kind of understand that. So if you don't already know, WinWing has a couple of stores. So for me here in the US, there's a couple options of purchasing this at the time. So there was the worldwide store, which ships directly from China to, I believe, anywhere in the world. So obviously here in the United States. Or you could have chosen the US based store, which I guess they have warehouses here based in the United States that basically the product gets sent from China and goes to the United States warehouses and then gets shipped out from there. So initially, when I was about to order my PFP, I was thinking, okay, since I want a shorter shipping time, let me go ahead and order from the US store. And I was asking a couple Discords, what's the difference and where should I be ordering a product from? And they were saying, especially for the products that just get released from WinWing, it's better to order from the global store because you're actually ordering the product and paying for the product right away, rather than the North American store. And I don't know if it's the same with Europe or anything else, but for the North America store, I know you had to pre-order it, and then you have to wait for the product to get shipped to the United States, and then get your product shipped from the U.S. Warehouse. So it's a little bit, it takes a little bit longer. And I know for some people, I think people were saying that it's a minimum of 30 days or something like that. So I went ahead and ordered it off the global store. So this came directly from China, which I do recommend, especially with newer products from WinWing. I believe if you do like order older products like their side stick or maybe their F or the Airbus autopilot panel and stuff like that, I believe they do still have some on at the U.S. store. So perhaps that would be a little bit of a better option to get it shipped from the US store rather than the global store if they already have product at the US warehouse. But for a brand new product like this, the US warehouse was only a pre-order, whereas the global, you could just go ahead and order it. So that's kind of what I did, and that's kind of what I followed. So for future releases, that's probably what I'll be doing, is just ordering from the global website when the product first gets released. Now, if you were one of the people who went ahead and ordered this CDU or PFP or whatever they want to call it right now, you might have noticed that on the day of the pre-orders or the ordering, the website was just crashing. It was 404 errors, and it was really, really bad. It was basically like a PMDG drop, I feel like, because like I've never seen a website crash this much except for when PMDG drops a airplane or any high anticipated product gets released. I wasn't a part of the Boeing yoke drop or any of those other highly anticipated drops, so I had no idea if that was like a normal thing. But I honestly anticipated this was going to be a pretty hot drop just because this has been so anticipated, and the price point for a product like this is just dramatically lower with this product, which is insane. So I kind of figured that's kind of why the websites were down and there was so much traffic on the website. So I had to keep refreshing, and I had to keep waiting, and PayPal wasn't working, and credit card things weren't working, or the debit card, even the Google Pay stuff wasn't working. So I had to keep refreshing, and honestly, it took me around 2 hours, I would say, or maybe a little bit more than 2 hours, just to get the order completed and finished. So that took a little bit, but honestly, once it was done, it was well worth it because I stayed up until like 11 that night trying to do it, and I've been doing it ever since like 6, I would say. Um, or actually, I stayed up till 10 probably. So anyway, I was trying to get that order, finally got it ordered, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I stuck with it just because the next day everything was sold out, and even the global store was for pre-order only. So I'm glad I got on it when I did, and I'm glad I persevered and was able to go ahead and get onto the website and order it when I did, because obviously it's in pre-order right now. And even I believe the US store, let me know if you order from the US store. Do you have your product yet? Have they given you any updates yet? So yeah, so without further ado, we could go ahead and get into the unboxing. Like I said, this is my first ever WinWing product, so I have no idea what exactly to expect from a product perspective as far as quality or anything like that goes. So I'll be brutally honest with it and give you guys my feedback on that. So hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and open up this product. I don't exactly have a good camera setup, so I literally just put my webcam down. So it might look a little bit weird for now, but I figured this would be a good enough angle just to get the unboxing portion of it, and then I'll switch over to my phone or something to get other angles. So it came in this little wrap here. Oh, and that's another thing I was going to say is the shipping. So I ordered this product, I believe, on January 20th or somewhere around there, and it came in just yesterday. So what was that? The 27th? It was stuck in Shanghai for a little bit, and then after it was stuck in Shanghai, it went up to Memphis, and then it came right over to where I am. So it honestly wasn't too bad, especially from something from China. I feel like a week is not that bad for shipping time. So honestly, I was pretty surprised with that, and I'm glad it came when it did because I couldn't wait. I kept refreshing FedEx to see where this thing was. I was definitely looking forward to it. All right, so here it is in a nice cardboard box, and then you see it has WinWing right here for the simulator, and it just says made in China and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and pop it over here, and we'll go ahead and cut open this part. I feel like I'm on a kid on Christmas right now, man. I'm so excited for this. Ever since I started flight simming, I've always wanted a hardware FMC, you know. And of course, everything's over $500 or close to $1,000. So this has never been possible until now. And I went ahead and I'm probably going to get the MCDU as well eventually. But I honestly fly the 737 way more than I do the A320, and I honestly like the 737 a lot more, especially with the Boris NG sound pack coming out. I've been flying the NG a lot lately, especially for the Southwest Virtual stuff as well. So that's why I decided to go with the 737 PFP first, just empty box. We'll kind of throw that to the side. So it comes with this styrofoam here. So it comes with a little sheet, and here is kind of the toolkit, if you will. So it comes with a little tool bag here, and I do apologize for the camera setup. I know this camera's probably not the best, but this is kind of what I got to work with for now. So it comes with a little Allen wrench and a couple of wrenches there. Believe this is a quality certificate, but it's in, I don't know if you can, it's kind of washed out here. Let me change this to maybe like dim it down. Anyway, it's just a quality assurance thing. And then the infamous, I've been seeing streamers who got an earlier access to this talk about the little teeny tiny wrench. So I'm glad I get to see that in person. Here are the little sticky feet that I've seen for the stands. So we got a couple rows of those sticky feet. You got, of course, the screws, and looks like especially these pieces right here are like that Boeing gray color. So there you go. And here is the USB-C cord to USB-A. I believe that is right. USB-A to USB-C. And then we got the two stands. I did not order the additional desk mount just yet. I honestly have room to just kind of lay it down on the desk to the side over here, so I didn't bother getting it. But here you go. These are like hard plastic, just black hard plastic little stands for the back of the FMC. And then for the moment of truth here, let's go ahead and open this up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this. This looks awesome. So if we go ahead and pick it up, it has some decent weight to it. So honestly, it doesn't feel like too cheap at first glance. It has a decent amount of weight to it. We can go ahead and get this plastic off of it, and yeah, man, this looks good. So it feels, so obviously this is plastic. As far as like the gray part, like like this right here, it feels plastic, but it doesn't feel honestly too cheap. What I was worried about was that the plastic was going to be very 3D printer-ish and very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like it would just feel very cheap, but honestly the plastic doesn't feel too cheap. Like it feels like it's decent quality, and you can just kind of hear the clicks. Watch. So yeah. It's a really awesome quality. So let me go ahead and switch over to my iPhone, and then we could go ahead and take a closer look to what this looks like in more detail. Okay, so we're on my iPhone now. Sorry for the shaky quality. I'm not a surgeon. But here we go. Here is what it kind of looks like. So obviously you have this little plastic part right here, which is arguably the best part about an electronic device is when you peel this off. So we'll wait to do that. But you kind of see the plastic. It looks like it's a cheaper, like 3D printed plastic, but it's honestly not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The buttons are nice and tactile and clicky. Um, you know, it kind of tilts a little bit. So on the stand, hopefully it does a little bit of a better job. Because right now, just laying flat on the desk is definitely kind of hard to press some buttons, just because it has that little tilt to it. So yeah, let's go ahead and peel this off here. It lets me with one hand. Oh, that was a fail. There we go. So yeah, so we could go ahead and see the CD unit. It's honestly a very nice size. I think it's 1-to-1 scale, obviously with the real FMC in the 737. And yeah, it feels great, looks great. So let's go ahead and install some software, and let's go ahead and boot this thing up. All right, so what you're going to do is go ahead and go over to WinWing. And you want to go ahead and download the Sim App Pro app. Right here. So we go ahead and click install for Windows, and we'll go ahead and wait for that to download. We'll go ahead and install that and wait for it to finish downloading and installing, and we'll go ahead and go into the software. So like I said, it did come with a USB-C to a USB-A port here. So on the back side, you could go ahead and see that there's power only and a USB port. So that's where you'll go ahead and plug in your USB-C into here, and then you'll go ahead and plug this in to your PC, and then it should power up. It's advertised that this is going to be very plug and play. You don't need any HDMI cables or anything like that, like other CDUs I believe need. So it's very plug and play. Just plug this in to here, and then plug this in into your PC, and then it should be perfectly installed, and nothing else has to be done. Okay, so I went ahead and started to update the firmware because I had a firmware update out of the box. I got the stand to kind of be set up. The instructions were a little confusing just because I didn't get a manual in the packaging, so I had to look it up on their website. But honestly, it wasn't too bad of a build once I got, I kind of figured it out on my own, but the diagrams definitely weren't that helpful. This is how I installed it. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if it's wrong, because I would love to know. It's one of those things where after you're done building it, it's like Legos or whatever. You have leftover pieces, and you figured that perhaps I should have used more screws or something, because there's a lot of excess stuff here. So not too sure if I did it right. I just haven't put in the little feet that go on the bottom of the stand, but other than that, I think I got the stand going here. So honestly, the stand is pretty nice. It does feel pretty good here. So let's go ahead and wait for the software or the firmware update to complete, and then we'll go ahead and hop into the sim and kind of test out the functions. So I just wanted to tell you guys a quick thing about the firmware update. I tried to go ahead and do the firmware update, but for whatever reason, it was not letting me update. So when I went ahead, for whatever reason, it just was not letting me update. So what I went ahead and did is I just went to restart my PC. I came back and I launched the software again, and it looks like it's finally doing the firmware update. So if you're having issues for whatever reason and it doesn't want to update, go ahead and restart your computer and then go ahead and retry the firmware update. That's what kind of helped me. So if you have the same issue as me, go ahead and try that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally got the CDU up and running. So I had to update the firmware, had to restart it a couple of times, and for whatever reason, the buttons would work, but then my screen on my PFP would just not work at all, and it would just be dark, even though the buttons were working. So luckily, Owls and CST Gaming, shout out to them, they went ahead and helped me out and told me where to locate the SDK and to add SDK lines into the PMDG 737-800 options configuration folder. So I'll make sure to try to post that somewhere on the Discord if you guys are looking for that. If you guys have the PFP right now and wonder why the screen's not working, we go ahead and post that in the Discord. So make sure to join the Discord. Link is in the description. And yeah, so we went ahead and did that, and now it's finally working. So they said that WinWing said that they're going to update that, and I think that's a PMDG side. I'm not 100% sure. So if you have that issue, go ahead and, like I said, join the Discord and go ahead and add those SDK lines. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the WinWing PFP, and we'll go ahead and kind of compare the two FMCs here. All right, I do apologize for the very amateur setup. I'm going to try to keep my hand as still as possible. You go ahead and see the PMG 737 FMC on the left, and obviously the PFP here on the right. You can kind of tell that the fonts are just a little bit off, but luckily in the software, there's actually a place where you could edit the fonts. So hopefully somebody who's a lot smarter than me could figure out what the PMDG font is, and then you could go ahead and upload that file so you could have the same font as the PMDG. But just kind of pushing through the buttons here, we could go ahead and select fuel, for example. We could select 1/3 of the fuel, and that's set there. It's pretty quick. So we go to ground services, for example. Let's go ahead and attach an air conditioning cart here. And as you can see, it's very responsive. You can request a fuel truck. That's coming. We go back to the menu. We go ahead and go to PMDG setup. Let's go to aircraft. You go to equipment, and you can see we just kind of cycle through this here. Now this is a little bit without the sticky part on the table itself. It is a pretty flimsy as far as pressing buttons go, but it's not too bad. So let's go to FMC here. Let's go to ident. Let's go to position, route. Let's say we're going to LAX here, and we're going to Vegas. And put that up here, and we're going 24 left, and we go departures. Let's say we're doing let's do the summer 2, and then we'll do actually hold on, wrong departure. Anyway, it's I'm just kind of making this up as I go. Let's do the Orca. Where's the Orca? Orca 5, mice in transition, and then route, and then arrival. Let's go ahead and do the rounders, mice in transition, and we'll do the, I don't know, the RNAV 26 left off of Bourbon. Activate, execute, and yeah, you go ahead and see this here. Perf in it here. We go ahead and drag in our 0 fuel weight. So everything works great, which is like kind of it's like honestly really awesome to see. So for example, you do your perf in it request. Let's see if this works here. And it looks like it does, so that's good there. So if I go to route, if I go to request flight plan, I wonder if I'm able to, okay, hit select. That's pretty cool. Let's go to legs page after it's done with this. We'll go to legs page here. Excuse me. Let's see. Let's go up here. Let's go cruise at flight level 290. And let's go to legs, or I guess I deleted my entire route. That's fine. Let's go 24 left. Again, this is just kind of showing you the responsiveness of this versus the PMDG. It's pretty instant here. I guess we could load it. So you can see it's doing a really good job of making everything the same, and it's pretty instant as far as the button pressing and inserting information on the actual FMC itself. But yeah, we'll go ahead, activate. See the execute button has a light here. We'll go ahead and execute that. Next page, let's just go to legs page, route data. Let's see if we go ahead and request the winds, even though we don't have really a route. Just trying to see. One thing I do notice is it doesn't have the requested winds like highlighted when it knows that when it's requested, so it's hard to tell if it worked or not without actually looking at the PMDG FMC here. So we go ahead and hit load. That worked there. anyways, there you go. You go ahead and got the PFP there. So yeah, it's really awesome. It's really cool to have just instant button pressing reflected here as well as on the PMDG FMC. So it's really awesome to see that this is actually replicating that and actually doing what it's supposed to, basically. So my biggest gripe would be the font. I mean, the font's not too bad. It's just everything else is just so realistic that the font honestly doesn't really matter that much. Other than that, the buttons feel great to press and everything works just the way it should. So I honestly would give this thing, you know, a 10 out of 10 if I could. Because I mean, it's just so cool to finally have this at such an affordable price. So if you haven't already, make sure you do get one. It's 130. I think I paid 160 with shipping. But when they're back in stock, make sure you do get your hand on one. Like I said, I only have the 737 one. I'll probably get the A320 one later down the road. This is my last flight simulator purchase for a little bit, for sure, just because I have to pay for my real world flight training. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you guys enjoy this kind of amateur unboxing / comparison video, just to kind of give you an idea of what this kind of is. I believe I'm one of the first people to get it in hand, so I wanted to make sure that I make this video as quickly as possible and send it out to you guys, just in case anyone's on the fence for the second wave of products that are going to get released. So I appreciate you guys so very much. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000, less than 100 away from 1,000. So let's go ahead and get to 1,000 by June. I would say would be a good goal for us. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. Hope you guys enjoy this. Like I said, leave a like. Comment down below. What do you guys think of the WinWing products? What do you guys think of this new CDU and all their WinWing products? This is my first one, and I think this is great, and I'm definitely going to order more WinWing products in the future. So hope you guys have a good one, and peace.